Shall we begin?
Hey everybody, and I'm Unclendor here, and welcome to another Terrible Theory. And today I'd like to talk about a specific character in the Legend of Korra franchise. Uh, Opal. Now, Opal is introduced to us in Season 3 as one of the new airbenders, one of the new people that will rebuild the Airbender Nation. And she quickly hits things off with Bolin, and the two of them seem to have a good relationship going. You root for these two. You want to see those two be happy together because Bolin's luck with women seems to be pretty bad. Like, he does get a lot of girlfriends. He does get a lot of girlfriends, about as many as Sokka. But they all, in one way or another, they all end up being pretty bad girlfriends for him. So, so it's really nice to see him with someone who seems to appreciate him for him. But then we get season 4, and that's when Opal's character takes a completely a huge turn for the worse. Opal was so supportive, so kind, so gentle and generous in season 3. She seemed like the perfect girl to want to settle down with. She was just amazing. She was very talented, she was very talented, very skilled at airbending. But she was also so modest. She never really thought she was all that great, even though she is very powerful. She was always very modest about it. But in season 4, not only does she know she's powerful, and she uses her power a lot in season 4. We see quite a few scenes where she's taking charge, but we also see a different side of her that I don't particularly like. And it made me wonder why. Why did she suddenly change? I mean, I know it's been 3 years, but none of the other characters have drastically changed in personality the way she has. She's the only one who changed it drastically in personality after 3 years had passed in between the two seasons. Why? Why is that? And yes, Bolin was working for Kuvira. He didn't realize she was a complete psycho at first. Eventually, he figures it out, and as soon as he does, he wants out. He wants out of there. He just wants to get back home, and he wants to be on the good guys team again, because he didn't even realize he was on the villains team at the start. Once Opal knew she was a bad guy, he just didn't figure it out yet. He hadn't figured that out. Once he had, he knew that he had to make things right with her. But what does she do? Instead of accepting that he made a mistake just because he wasn't informed, he wasn't well informed, he didn't know what he was getting himself into, she blames him for her family getting captured by Kuvira and her own brother. They were the ones who kidnapped her family, but she blames Bolin as if he's the one who did it. Not to mention the way the way the two of them end up getting back together is so wrong. Essentially, if you want an abridged version of what happened, it's like, oh, Opal, I really want to get back together with you. I know I made a mistake. I'm so sorry, and I will do anything to make it up to you. How about you help me? How about you help me rescue my family, risking your own life, even though you have no obligation to, and also I'm gonna continue to be a total bitch to you, even though you're trying so hard to make up for your one little mistake. Like, he's trying so hard to make things up to her, and she's just treating him like shit. And it's only after he's willing to do a ton of things for her that she's like, okay, now you're allowed to date me again. Like, she essentially made him her bitch. Now you're allowed to date me again, now that you're my bitch. Like, Opal's a bitch, okay? I hate Opal. I was so fooled by how nice and kind and generous and modest and talented she was. I was so fooled by all of it. I didn't see what was just underneath the surface. She is a bitch. And going back and watching the third season, there are actually multiple times where she gives this look, this weird look, a little smile, but the way she does it, it doesn't look like she's looking at a guy who, the way she looks at Bolin, the way she smiles at him in the third season, it doesn't look like she's smiling at someone that she likes. She looks like she's smiling at someone she can manipulate. Which, it would make sense. The Bolin family is this is a very smart family. They have had a lot of success over the years, and Opal is part of the Bolin family. Her mother is the owner of an entire city, is the queen of an entire city. Well, not necessarily queen, but like she is the leader of an entire city, the ruler of it. So essentially, yeah, kind of a queen. But she she should already know this at this point. She probably already knows how to manipulate people because she's had years of time to see her mother do it. So she probably already knows how to manipulate people, and she's just using this knowledge to manipulate Bolin. Because she sees he's not the brightest tool in the shed, but he does have lots of power and he has potential to get even more power. And she's like, really strong guy, could get even stronger, dumb as the Roxy Benz. Yeah, I'll manipulate him. He's gonna be my bitch. And you can see that in the smile she has throughout the third season. Now, getting to my theory, because I've just been talking about this for the last 8 minutes. What's her ultimate goal? What was Opal's ultimate goal? She's trying to manipulate Bolin. What does that mean? Like, at the core, what does manipulating Bolin accomplish? Well, I for one see Bolin as kind of the GUI center to Team Avatar. Uh, if it weren't for him giving his inspirational speeches, Mako, Asami, and Korra would just argue all the time, as we saw when they're reunited. They argued so much. If Bolin had been there, he would have stopped the arguing from happening. If he had been there, they wouldn't have argued in the first place. He is the gooey center that keeps the team together. Take him away, suddenly the other three members of Team Avatar are fighting amongst themselves. You annihilate Team Avatar, and everyone goes their separate ways. What if Opal was meant to be a villain? I'm serious. Like, what if Opal was meant to be a villain? What if she saw what Zahir was doing and thought, maybe this guy is onto something? And we see that Zahir survives. He is in season 4. We see him in the 4th season. What if there's a reason for that? What if there was supposed to be a 5th season? And during this 5th season, Opal would go to Zahir and talk to him. Essentially, he would bring her over to his side and then she would become the new villain of the season. And here she is, knowledge of the Earth Kingdom, powers of an Airbender. She has trained and fought alongside the Avatar. She knows the Avatar. She knows the team. She knows the team's weaknesses. Having a villain come from within the inner workings of Team Avatar, that would be an amazing twist. That would have been an incredible twist to have one of their own allies turn against them like that. So to have Opal do that, to have Opal become the new villain, and she only reveals that she's the villain after everything has already fallen apart. She plays naive and innocent until then, and then once everything's fallen apart, she takes them out one by one. Opal may just be the secret villain that was never caught. But who knows? We know we're going to be getting a series of comics of Legend of Korra, like we are getting for Last Airbender. They're finishing up North and South, and then there's supposed to be one more after North and South. And then that will end the Last Airbender comics, and then they're going to be moving on to Legend of Korra comics. And I assume, and this is a big assumption, but I'm going to assume they're going to have 4 stories. Because each story contains 3 parts. So put all those parts together, that's 12 parts. That's roughly how many episodes there are in a season. Well, in the first season, that's how many episodes there are. So they could, if Netflix gets the rights to animate the Avatar franchise, they could actually animate the comics of Last Airbender, because that'll be 18 episodes. That's fine. That's just 2 episodes less than the normal season. 18 episodes, that's fine. And then a 12-episode season of Legend of Korra. And you could have both of those as a kind of lead up to the new franchise. To the new Avatar franchise. That's what Netflix could end up doing. Whether or not they will do that is anyone's guess at this point. But I am hoping that we will get 4 comics of Legend of Korra. And so in any of these 4 comics, Opal could turn out to be a villain. We might still get to see her true colors yet. But that's a story for another day. We don't know if that's going to happen or not. This could just remain a crackpot theory. This is just a crazy theory because I don't like Opal and I just wanted to rant about her a little bit. So, yeah. So, let me know what you guys think about this theory. Do you think Opal was a bit too much of a bitch in the 4th season? Do you think there's a bit more reasoning why she changed so drastically? What do you think? What do you think about Opal? What do you think about her relationship with Bolin? Please let me know in the comment box below. More videos are going to be coming up throughout the week. So until the next video, I will see you guys then. Take care, everyone.